One of the most beautiful lies in the food world is, would you like more wasabi with that?
We're all living a lie.
We're all living a lie. It is. It's a beautiful lie, and one that we'll get to in just a little bit. But we're sitting in the place where I first tried real wasabi root, a magical, beautiful, kind of gel-like thing that is a completely different flavor. This is welcome to Happy Half Hour. I'm Troy Johnson. This is your guide to everything in San Diego's food and drink scene. Sitting next to me is Jackie Bryant. Jackie, how you doing today?
Great. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It's a Tuesday morning. We're sitting out here on the deck at Nobu in front of the Pacific Ocean. It is a 10 out of 10 day in San Diego.
It is a 10 out of 10 day. And this week, knowing everything about San Diego's food scene is knowing about the Del. $550 million renovation is done. One of the largest hotel renovations ever done in the country. Blackstone, who owns and operates the place, it's the biggest renovation they've ever done. They're one of the largest companies in the world with a portfolio of some of the best hotels.
I was going to say, I think that means if it's the biggest for Blackstone in the country, it means it probably has to be one of the biggest in the whole world.
And you did the story on this. So it's fully open. Fully done. I mean, of course, everybody here is looking around going, okay, what's going to happen? What do we need to tweak? What's not absolutely perfect? But, I mean, they went to the original blueprints. Mm-hmm. They had an in-house historian. It took 6 years. They shut down 136 guest rooms for over a year, rebuilt the lobby. The famed Some Like It hot porch is there. Did you see the rocking chairs that are there? I know. They're so damn
They're
cute.
so cute. I can't wait to clink glasses in them.
The rocking chairs are there. They stripped all the woods down to the actual wood and then restained them to the exact way they looked in 1888 when this hotel opened. They rebuilt stained glass windows in the lobby that were here when it opened as well.
They redid the spa.
They redid the spa.
And you know what else they did? They did the shore house over there, which actually for the first time kind of in the Del's history, like it just increased the amount of almost beachfront property, like beachfront accommodations that you could have. Like now it's easier than ever to get right up and close to the ocean, where like it wasn't before. A lot of the rooms were a lot of setbacks. So they've added so many rooms. They've refreshed so much. Honestly, I really like hanging out here. I come here all the time.
It makes sound like we're shilling, but we're not. This is the biggest thing to happen in San
Diego. I actually come hang out here all the time.
In San Diego scene in a long time. It's like the Statue of Liberty got a whole new redo. You know, it's like
That's a really good way of putting
it.
This is
our Statue of Liberty.
I'm with that.
Completely redone. You know what I like too is they have that long dramatic driveway. Remember when you entered the Del for the longest time, you would just kind of make a right, and there you were.
And it's like kind of anticlimactic. And now it's a whole thing.
You drive around, you do that like a drive up. And you see the spires, the famous spires, and it's, you know, it just makes a dramatic entrance again. Anyways, of course, we're going to be talking about the food today. So we are in the icon, the legend, the second location in San Diego of Nobu. Now, Nobu was opened in 1994. Chef Nobu Matsuhisa and Robert De Niro partnered up, opened up. That's been 31 years. The first one in San Diego opened in 2007 in downtown in Gaslamp in the Hard Rock. They're still open. That was the first place that I really started writing about food. I didn't know what the hell I was talking about when I first walked in there. And there was Nobu, one of the most famous fusion chefs in the world. That's the interesting thing about Nobu is that now everybody's fusion. Thank God.
That's so true, right? It's like quaint now. It's expected, actually, even.
It is. But back
it used to
then,
not be a thing.
we were so concerned about authenticity and doing it the old way that it was perfectly done the way that all our ancestors did it in every single country. And it really limited chefs and limited food. Well, he started using his Japanese roots and his sushi mastery, and then he started inserting Peruvian food. And obviously, it did pretty well for 30 years.
I'd say, right?
Yeah. So
I think both of them did okay.
They did okay. So anyways, we're going to talk to both the chefs. We're going to talk to the chef that oversees the cold bar. We're going to talk to the chef that oversees the hot dishes, which there is 2 hot dishes, obviously, that the entire world knows about. We're going to get the story behind those.
Are we eating?
I think we're eating. I think we're drinking,
hell
too.
Yeah.
I know. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I was going to say happy half hour. It's actually 10:52 a.m.
It's 10:52 a.m. We
This
have
is what we do for
cocktails
you
being
guys.
made over there. There's a sake presentation, I see.
This is how much we love our listeners.
We do it really just for you and for the ruination of my life.
Someone's got to do it.
All right. So back to the wasabi really quickly, and then we'll get into news. Here's what I love about Americans. One of the greatest ruses we know is that they're like, hey, would you like more wasabi? It's not wasabi.
No, not
It is
even a little.
Horseradish, mustard. It's into like a spicy Play-Doh. That's what you're eating, which is a beautiful,
It's delicious.
It's delicious.
Goes well when you put in your little soy sauce with your chopsticks and you're chopping it up and mixing it around, which you're like actually not even supposed to do. You're supposed to put the real wasabi right on the rice. Yada 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 yada.
Rules.
Whatever.
So, but the fact is that we still call it wasabi. You know, we're like,
We
it's like,
are so cute.
It's like me calling you Jackie for decades. And you go, you know what, Troy? My name has never been Jackie. It is Susan. It was always Susan from when I was born. It will never be Jackie. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, Jackie.
Yeah,
and I keep on calling you Jackie. We keep on calling it
I know,
wasabi.
it's like old uncle behavior.
It is. It is. Anyways, it is a fantastic condiment, which is served here at Nobu, but they also serve that fresh grated wasabi, which is like sweet and, I mean, juicy, delicious.
Like, have I even ever had real wasabi?
They
That's what I'm
shave it
wondering.
off of sharkskin here. It's one of the things that you have to try if you haven't tried it before, because 99% of us have never tried real wasabi.
Believe that.
Okay. Anyways, let's start us off with the news. Jackie, what's happening in town?
All right, surprise. The lion's share has new owners. I bet you didn't even know it was for sale.
The lion's share this is one of the places where craft cocktails were born in San Diego. A terrible little location.
The worst.
In the middle of nowhere.
It should not work.
No.
Not
It's
even
like
a little.
it's like between a trolley track and complete anonymity based on terrible decision making as a business owner to put a business there.
Yeah,
And
like -10 foot traffic.
yes. And it worked. It worked so well. It became such an icon. And who bought it?
So Chef Brothers Danny and Dante Romero, along with their partner Darius Yassi.
You're giving it a shot.
Yassi-
You're giving it.
Yasicho?
Yasicho?
I'm very sorry about that, Darius, but I got as close as
Darius,
I could.
please feel free to send us many strongly
really
worded
hard.
emails on the pronunciation of your name.
They're now the majority owners of the lion's share. So Dante is taking over as executive chef. Danny co-owns Service Animals, which is the hospitality group behind Pony Boy at the Pearl Hotel, and they've also done other pop-ups. I'm a big Service Animals fangirl,
And
like,
this is
pretty unabashedly.
Yeah, this is awesome because if you know Dante and Danny, they were actually the opening chefs behind Wormwood as well.
Mm-hmm.
They are just beloved chefs
And
in
their
town.
fine dining pop-up, Two Ducks. Can't forget
Two Ducks,
that.
Tortoise before that. It was
Yep.
Tortoise, which then became Wormwood, really. And then Two Ducks, which kind of it became the house pop-up at Lion's Share in the upstairs realm. And now they own the joint. A couple of chefs, who knew chefs were allowed to own things?
I know. It's like you owning San Diego
Right,
Magazine.
writers
who knew
owning-
writers were allowed to own things?
Yeah.
Like, I think the whole thing is so quaint, so perfect, so cute. It's where it should be. And great news. Like, they're going to be the perfect stewards of it.
Yeah.
That's why we're so stoked. They're keeping the exotic game meats, the cocktail forward menu, same polish. The current staff, including the GM JB Becker and bar director John Gibeon, they are staying on.
Yep.
The upstairs loft may eventually become the permanent home of Two Ducks, but we don't know about that yet. The team will operate under the restaurant's longtime management group, the Sporting Fraternity, for 6 months before Service Animals fully takes over. But for the Romeros, it's less about a takeover, more about preserving, an institution, especially as we know a lot of places are getting swallowed up. So this is a very cool another historical preservation effort.
If you've been in the food scene for more than a couple of years, you know of Dante and Danny, and you've had their food, and everybody loves them. This is a huge good thing.
Very cool.
All right, so what's next?
All right, so
Oh, a helicopter? Who needs a helicopter?
just,
Just listen through the helicopter. It's all fine.
we're on Coronado, so it comes with the territory, right?
Go for it.
Just go?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So Chef Tara Monsood, we've got some bittersweet news about
Is
her.
it terrible? Should we wait?
We can't.
Okay,
Yeah,
we should wait.
it's so bad.
Okay.
Ooh, I see black miso cod. Hello,
Oh my God.
nurse.
It is the
I'm so
best
excited.
thing in the world.
The flavor of the early aughts. The fashions are back. The
Oh.
foods are back. And I mean this in the best way. I am so stoked.
Okay.
All
go
right.
for it.
Chef Tara Monsood. She's always a winner to us. So she did not win Best Chef California in the 2025 James Beard Awards.
She was a finalist.
She was a finalist.
It's been
second
the
year in a
hope
row.
that she would be the first San Diego chef to win that award in its history. We've always had a semifinalist. Even before James Beard really had coverage down here, they would throw in a semifinalist for us. And James Beard does have coverage down here now, and they're really starting to include San Diego in a meaningful way. And I was hoping that Tara would get it this year. But
And listen, it was her second consecutive nomination. She's clearly doing something right. It was John Yao of Cato in LA who won Best Chef California.
Deserving,
Obviously,
fantastic.
super deserving. But Tara, you're still a winner in our hearts. We We think you took it.
And go try any of her food over at Lecoq, over at Anime. Anime is, that's the one that she really kind of came out of the pandemic and had built her own home food service with shrimp toast. And she adapted that French toast for Anime and an entire menu that has Filipino at its center, but a Pan-Asian, Pan-French, whatever tastes good.
Yeah, to that point, I just wanted to add, she did go to both the award ceremonies dressed in an updated version of traditional Filipino attire. She brought her mom to both of them. So her roots are really important to her.
All right.
So Mama's Bakery relocates into North Park. So after 25 years, the beloved Lebanese spot has a new home. It's known for its sage wraps, hummus, longtime loyal customer base. The new space brings updated design. I don't have the address here. Where is the new Mama's Bakery? I'm messing up in real time. I'm reading my notes and I'm I don't have the address. It moved and you know what? I don't know where it moved to.
Oh, I see fresh wasabi.
Ooh, I see it.
You've never had it?
You know what? I must have. And I feel like I haven't consciously had it or not, so I don't know.
Oh, this is
I
a day for you.
You know what I mean?
You're going to be reborn.
I've had good sushi, so I must have been that. I'm what if everyone's tricking us everywhere?
No,
I don't know.
Look, there's nothing wrong with horseradish, but that right there is fresh wasabi, and it is such a different beast, and it's a beautiful, delicate beast.
All right. Longtime Lebanese bakery, Mama's Bakery, is moving in North Park from one location to another. It's going into the 6-story mixed-use One Mississippi building around the corner from its old spot in 2141 El Cajon Boulevard. That's the story.
Hummus, sage wraps.
Sage wraps, the whole deal. If you've been, it's it's kind of like your one-stop Mediterranean food shop. I love that place. I'm stoked for them. I'm glad they're still around.
All right, new location. All right, so that is your news for the day. Go on to SanDiegoMagazine.com. You can check out the food news column that's written by Beth Demon. She chases all of the liquor licenses and everything around, and she's always the first to the news.
She's on it. All off hours, she and I are DMing each other tips and this. She is so on it all the time. She really is out there working for you guys.
That's it. And now we're going to bring on, again, the Statue of Liberty of San Diego has been fully redone. The second Nobu in San Diego has been redone. The stone has been removed from the cave. The rebirth of the Hotel Del is here. And Nobu chefs, both are the master of the cold section and the master of the cooked dishes, coming on right now, CJ and Kevin. As with the opening of any Nobu, you send in a team. You send in a team that you trust. You send in a team that knows what the hell they're doing. And for this location at the Hotel Del, they basically, I think, robbed the pantry of all the talent in Chicago. I'm sure there's more talent there, but the boys from Chicago both have come out. Chef CJ and Executive Chef Victor. One of you's on hot. One of you's on cold, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I'm on the hot side, and CJ's on the cold side.
Sushi side.
And that is the magic of Nobu, right? It's that mixture of hot dishes and cold dishes. It's not just sushi. It's not just Japanese influence. Not just Peruvian influence. It's those prepared dishes, and then that omakase.
We're just
right?
hot and hot.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
You need the balance to make it work.
Exactly. First of all, welcome to San Diego. Are you adapting? We have sun here. Chicago has a little bit, I guess, but
yeah, it's nice to have more sun than back in the Midwest for sure.
We need to check in with them this winter. They're fresh off the boat from Chicago, so fair enough. It's kind of popping off in Chicago right now, but we'll check in with you on the weather in 6 months.
I know.
When it hits wintertime and it's still beautiful outside.
Exactly.
All right, so what made you guys want to work for Nobu? I mean, why? Obviously, it's tradition. Obviously, it's a very huge success story in American cuisine. What were you like, God, I want to go work there?
I think it's just the prestigious level that Nobu's at. Just making the most simplistic dishes, the most, how do you say it? How to make something so simple taste so amazing and fresh and bright. And not a lot of places are able to do that like Nobu is.
And that's it, right? The best food you ever had. If you overcomplicate a dish, I guarantee you ruin that dish.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
But if you're trying to do it simple, if you don't do it well enough, it's just going to taste like basic stuff. It's that magic. And I think that's a lot of Japanese cuisine, right? Is taking that really simple dish and somehow tweaking it to make it just absolutely delicious.
It's the balance of art and science.
It's the balance of art and science. All right, well, let's start with these dishes then. First of all, this one, I think everybody on planet Earth has heard of this dish, seen this dish in some billboard. What are we looking at here?
Our yellowtail jalapeno.
Okay, yellowtail jalapeno.
Yes, it's one of the most popular dish in Nobu restaurant. So 6 pieces thin slice, and we touch the garlic puree each pieces, and then serrano pepper, cilantro, and then yuzu soy sauce.
The yuzu soy sauce. I mean, this dish, if you took this dish off the menu tomorrow, how long would the line of pitchforks be?
Before we even open.
Right.
I know, is this like one of the dishes that like it ends up on every table?
Yeah.
People are like, we got to get this.
And it never gets old. It doesn't matter how many times you come here. You eat that every time. It's like the first time you're eating it.
You know what? I'll be the judge of that. Let's see.
And the yuzu soy sauce, is there a reason why I've had yuzu soy in many, many places? Is there a reason why that is so good?
So we use the yuzu salted one, and then it's combined with the citrus, and then salty and spicy, and cilantro. It's a good combination, all of them.
Yeah. It's just a classic. It's a little black dress of food right there.
Guess what? Breaking news. It is still delicious.
Yep.
Turns out it's still
Oh
perfect.
my God, I know. It's good. And just the right, and it's just a tiny little bit of serrano too, you know?
Just the smallest amount of heat.
I know.
Yes.
And so what, and this is your realm. This is your cold bar realm.
Yes.
What are the things that Nobu and, and the chefs that work for Nobu, I mean, Nobu obviously has thousands and thousands of people that work with him now, right? He's got an entire, country of chefs and people who love, cuisine. But what have you learned specifically from Nobu, and when it comes to like cold dishes, when it comes to the sushi case?
Before I joined the Nobu company, I used to work in, server sushi restaurant before.
Yeah.
And then after I joined, Chef Nobu-san teach me, many technique, also his philosophy, and then all the, appreciation each ingredient too. So
Each ingredient.
Yes.
That's it.
we so appreciate all the small piece of ingredient.
Uh-huh.
We're not gonna just throw away. We always think about the create something, or dishes or marinade.
Right.
You
So-
treat everything like the star. Like
Yes.
every individual thing is
That's
treated
Nobu-san
like the
taught
main.
me,
Yeah.
many times.
And take everything, even that you think you might throw away. Because if you think about one of the best dishes that, or that, maybe not best, but no, it's best. The spicy tuna crispy rice, the legendary dish that was made with sushi rice that Nobu-san was going to, many people would have thrown away.
Yeah.
Right? And I know Katsuya is often given the credit for like creating the dish, but obviously Nobu made it really, really famous. And it's taking that day-old sushi rice, putting it in the fridge, and not wasting it and turning it into something magical with a little bit of fry, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's it. So take everything you can and make it into a great dish. Okay, that is phenomenal, sir. May I have another?
There's more.
Okay. Now, chef, if you wouldn't mind, please explain that dish to me.
Okay, this is we call new style salmon sashimi.
Okay.
It could be new style scallop, new style whitefish, even new style wagyu we can do.
Okay.
So this is the most popular, new style sashimi with the salmon. And then we cut 9 pieces thin slice, and then touch with garlic puree again, and chive and ginger stick, and then we seared hot olive and sesame oil,
Okay.
and then yuzu soy sauce.
Okay.
But ratio is different. 2 soy and 1 yuzu.
Okay.
So a little bit stronger.
A little bit
you know,
stronger, the
soy
salty
flavor.
depth. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we sprinkle the sesame seed, and then piece of tomato.
So your garlic puree is the key to a lot of what you guys do.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, look, that's a key to almost every good dish that's ever been invented on planet Earth, right? If you're talking about Italian food, if you're
Yeah.
talking about Peruvian, if you're talking about Japanese, that garlic puree is under everything.
Yeah, in Asian cuisine, we're using almost every dish. We're using the garlic, the green onion and
Yeah.
ginger. So it's a good combined, Asian flavor.
Oh.
I love the sesame. I'll eat anything dressed in sesame oil, personally.
And you get a little bit of the sear on that, so now you're kind of moving between where
Yes.
your expertise is, and not to say that you don't have an expertise in cold, but going towards the hot, that's somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure. Right in the middle.
So especially, still some of people, afraid to try the raw fish. It's good for those kind of people because we sear and then cook a little bit on top.
This is training wheel sushi.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You're like, okay, you're not totally into the raw fish thing. You haven't quite gotten there because you didn't live through the 1980s, 90s, 00s, 10s, or 20s. When
years
everybody
behind.
started eating raw fish and
Congratulations.
loving how
You're
beautiful-
officially totally left behind. But anyway, if that's you.
But it is true though. I mean, some people still. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's a personal preference. Some people still don't want to eat raw fish. They don't want to eat sushi. You know, but you can have that beautiful piece of fish, and if you give it a little bit of sear and that sesame oil, as you said, sesame and
olive oil.
and olive oil together. You
Yes.
know, kind of like a perfect secret Coke recipe of oils right there. Sesame is one of the best in the
It's
world.
so fragrant.
Oh, so it absolutely is. That is delicious. I will take those training wheels on my sushi any single day.
Okay.
Thank you very much. All right, what is next? We're going to run through the food, and then we'll talk Nobu overall. If you don't mind, sir. What am I looking at here, too? Okay, we're still recording. What is this cocktail?
Oh yeah, I'm staring at the cocktails.
It's a passion fruit spicy tequila margarita.
I knew it was passion fruit. I saw the color and I was like, that is my favorite
A
fruit.
passion fruit spicy margarita. Yeah.
I never met a passion fruit thing I didn't like. It's my number one.
It is
favorite fruit.
11:01 in the morning, and I am having
Homie.
the day of my life.
Pass it. Pass it to your left.
Puff, puff, pass. That is absolutely delicious. Hard to believe.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's literally the perfect margarita. The only thing that could make a margarita better is the best fruit in the world, passion fruit.
Okay. If we don't mind, thank you. You're awesome. Okay. Dish number 3 in the arrival of Nobu to the Hotel Del. What is this beautiful little floret of?
This one we call sashimi salad
Okay.
with seared tuna around.
Okay.
With we call matsuisa dressing is a soy and onion based dressing.
Okay. So onion base. How do you mean onion base? What do you do with the onions? Are we macerating the onions or not macerating? Are we just dicing the onions up or are we?
It's a finely chopped Maui onion.
Okay,
Oh, nice.
got
So
it.
they're sweet.
Yeah.
I was gonna.
Won't be the last time, that's for sure.
Yeah, right. Gonna do that every
That's it,
5 minutes.
right?
Yeah.
Drive by.
They got our call. They're like, "Oh, they're doing a podcast. My bad."
Yeah,
That was
the
actually-
military is a little busy this week,
that
so
was
we'll
actually
we'll give them a
them
pass.
Flying by to say so sorry.
And they're like,
You know what I mean?
I'm so sorry, world famous Happy Half Hour podcast for interrupting your production.
And if you can't see off camera here, we have our entire Hotel Del team is just crushing.
They're chowing down. Oh,
Absolute-
good. They're eating
Yes!
it too, so I don't have
Like,
to feel
this is
bad
the
about it.
best
Okay,
day.
good. I gotta ask about this salad, the sashimi
Okay.
salad. Does anyone eat the lettuce? Like honestly,
Yeah.
really?
That plate is completely clear. by
Okay,
the
so
time
they
it
go
comes back.
full in because the Maui onion dressing is probably just
Okay,
soaking it
so what's my approach here? Look at this thing. It's deconstructed. It looks beautiful. It comes in its component parts. Am I just supposed to make a mash of this thing, or am I supposed to be delicate with it, dip and pick the lettuce? Come on, help me out. Come on.
Kind of however you want to come at it, but personally, the way I like to come at it, I'll grab a little bit of the lettuce, mix it in with the matsuisa, and then I'll show you how I do it.
Yeah,
Okay,
there we go. The perfect bite.
Let's see if I got good chopstick skills today.
Okay, all right.
So I'll grab some of the lettuce, try to get it mixed in with some of the tuna.
All right, I see what you're doing.
And then you just
Mix it all up.
Yeah,
kinda
yeah,
give it
yeah.
A little mix.
Okay.
That way you get a little bit of everything.
Give it a little christening, a little river Styx.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, make sure we mix with the dressing enough.
No, I prefer my lettuce undressed and just plain. I keep knocking.
There are a lot of. Oh God, that dressing. Oh man.
Probably one of my favorite dressings we have here.
Oh my God. And I. Okay, I'm not going to talk. This podcast's over. I'm just having a little apoplectic. That is absolutely delicious, and I think the reason is, per our producers, I chew a little bit too much into the microphone.
I think I do too.
So,
I think they were
producer?
more talking about me.
This pause is for you.
ASMR.
This is me becoming a human being.
I have to wonder, do you ever wonder if people, you know how there are some people with sensory issues who really hate loud chewing and can't even be around people who are chewing loudly at the table? There's a lot of those people. I wonder if we've just turned off an entire segment of humanity to our podcast.
Oh, there's a lot of reasons why we've turned off a lot of segments of humanity on this podcast. But okay, so that back to that that is one of the best dressings I've ever had, and I think it is because obviously Nobu, you guys are using really good soy sauce. You know, I would imagine you've had soy sauce tastings, right? When you
Yeah.
and you're constantly searching for that one that you're like, okay, yep, that one's a little better
That's
than
the
the last
umami.
one. Yeah.
Nobu has a set soy sauces he likes for different recipes, so it's just a bunch of different soy sauces for every little
Ooh,
thing
I
we
love
make.
that.
I just
Soy
picture my
sauce flight.
own. Yeah, Nobu has his own spice rack of soy sauces. Right?
I love that.
That's it. Like you open it up and you've got turmeric, you've got fiend herbs, whatever. He's got 27 different types of soy sauce, different colorations.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, that's so
Right,
hardcore.
that's it.
I extremely respect
And then with
that.
the Maui onion, so if you get salty and sweet, that's it. The Maui onion, I mean, that's just kind of like the sugar of the onion family, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
It's almost like a tropical fruit meets an onion.
Hmm.
So if you get that and you get the salty and you sweet, oh, that is delicious.
And then the freshness from the fish just carries it over.
Oh,
And the fat anchors it all. Love
Mhm.
it. Love it.
that,
love it.
that is so damn good.
Wait,
All right,
speaking
sir.
of tropical fruits, I'm seeing a pineapple cocktail hanging out over there, over yonder.
And if this may or may not make it in, but this man runs downtown Nobu right there. This is the man that he's the wizard behind the Oz of Nobu San Diego. They call him from downtown. They're like, all right, bring in the wolf.
Sorry,
You
pineapple
know.
martini, you said?
It's a peony teeny. Okay,
I like it.
We
Very
got
good.
A pineapple martini.
Look at that.
Look, did you already try it?
I did. It's
And you didn't-
absolutely
and you
delicious.
didn't puff puff pass.
Yeah, one good turn deserves another. I'm hoarding now. Pretty
I'm
good.
so sorry. You guys have a shift to do. You
I
have
know,
like,
we're just-
work.
we
we're
are
just sitting here
literally shooting the
drinking
shit here.
and talking to you. I appreciate you guys.
Of course.
So much. We'll slip you some under the table a little bit.
Yeah, when the cameras come off.
It's going to be the most interesting night of the opening of Hotel Del Nobu.
So what do we got here?
Okay. So what do we have here?
So right here is one of Nobu's signature dishes. It is our squid pasta. So it's a seared squid mixed with our seasonal vegetables, shiitake mushrooms, and a sauce of sake, sashimi, and a sake soy blend.
Good luck.
I'm having trouble. It's slippery, but I'm determined to get like a good bite here.
there we go.
Gotta get the sauce.
So this is the way that I like squid done because when we talk about squid a lot of times, it's fried.
Yeah.
I mean, in San Diego, we know it as the frito,
Mhm.
right? I mean, it's almost always, it's the mozzarella stick of seafood, But here, you basically have it, almost in the nude,
Yeah.
right? And why? What does that do?
I think if compared to like fried, it definitely has more of that natural, like oceany, fresh seafood flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you fry something, it just takes away all the flavor covered in oil and the
Totally.
batter. So
May
it's
as well
just
be meat at that point. You couldn't
Mhm.
tell the difference,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Just preserves its texture, its sea
Yeah.
provenance.
especially with how delicate the sauce is and all the fresh vegetables, you don't want anything that's too overpowering that's just gonna kill your palate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit, it's so good. I apologize for my foul mouth, man.
Love to
This is
hear
the
it,
first
man.
time we
Love
have
to hear it.
ever apologized for cursing on the podcast, I think, in the history
Okay.
of Happy Half Hour. So good.
It is so good.
So good. We're just swimming
okay.
in ferments. It's delicious. It's a delicious day.
So what about for you? What is like Nobu? The team at Nobu, taught you about cooking here. Are there any maxims that you start a shift? You tell the people that work for you that somebody told you about cooking in an organization like this. Like these are always do this, never do this, that sort of stuff. Do you have any of those?
Yeah, I think there's a bunch of those, and it's just from whoever you're learning from. I've worked with a lot of different chefs from around Nobu, Scottsdale, California, Chicago, and they all have a certain way of how they like to do things, but no matter how they go about it, everything comes out exactly how Nobu wants it perfected.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more just whatever's more comfortable for you, as long as the dish comes out how Nobu wants the dish to come out. Yeah.
As long as you don't disappoint the man.
Yeah.
Take whatever route you need to get there, as long as you get there.
As long as you get
I
there.
actually extremely respect that. I really like that. It respects the creative process and everybody's individual agency.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you want some individuals within an organization that has a unified goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
How is this Nobu different and/or the same from Hotel Del's Nobu? Is there anything unique about this spot? Are you guys do you guys come into a city and say, okay, no, we're going to change a little bit here, a little bit there, adjust for the marketplace?
Yeah, at the moment we don't have anything like location specific.
Okay.
CJ's and my goal right now is just to have our team learn the core values of Nobu and really locking down the signature dishes and everything we have to the T before we start introducing more location-specific items.
Okay, got it. For sure. I'm going to bring in the classics. I'm going to bring in the black dress. These are the dishes that you know and love and that you've heard about, whispers in, the culinary halls of repute.
Yeah.
And then we're going to start getting funky. We're going to start getting a little weird.
Yeah. for
I
sure.
assume maybe you'll look
Okay.
down to Baja. They have like a really good raw fish eating culture
Yeah.
just south of the border. I assume you'll probably look at some of those things, right?
Yeah,
Well, we know what this is.
I
I think after the yellowtail, this has got to be the most famous dish from the Nobu canon.
I guess it depends who you're asking.
Okay, right. Okay, so there's a couple questions I have for you, but I mean, this dish is the dish now that a billion chefs have tried to recreate, and it has Japanese roots. I mean, Japanese have been marinating things in miso for a very long time. This is the miso black cod.
Yes.
Okay, but obviously no one made it as famous as Nobu did.
No.
This is the original.
This is the original.
Yes.
Do you know the origin story of this dish?
Yeah. So, well, the inspiration was from most Japanese cuisine. They marinate like fresh fish or the cod in the sake and miso.
Yeah.
So from I believe he had leftover sake and miso, and then developed a sauce from that inspiration, and then went from there.
The leftover. This is a theme that keeps on coming back with Nobu's food.
Mhm.
There are things that are left over that are perfectly good that you should be using in other different ways, right? And when Nobu came actually here to set up and do the photo shoot and kind of introduce and check with the staff and everything else, I talked with him and I sat down and I said, "What was this dish?" And he said, back in the day before he met Robert De Niro, he said I couldn't afford a really good piece of fish. He found this piece of frozen cod, and he said. What am I going to do with this thing? I can't serve it as sushi, so he marinated it in the sake and the miso. He said the first day, it was crap. The second day, it was crap. He said third day, it was absolute magic. So 3 days in the marinade on that miso black cod.
Yeah, and that third day, like he says that, but it's very noticeable. If you don't let it go those 3 days, it doesn't taste as
That's
it should. Yeah.
Right. And it's so funny because people might not get to that third day. And waiting to that third day made a legendary dish that now every single restaurant in the United States, I think McDonald's is trying to redo a, miso black cod.
Really.
I mean, that's it, man.
That's a good point. People might not get to that third day, especially because it's fish.
Mhm.
And obviously, listen, a Japanese man is going to have a different opinion about aging fish, and then they have their own traditions with that. But the outside of that culture and tradition, people may not be willing to go 3 days on aging fish, right? So
you
you
stop
could miss
right
out on the
before
beauty.
the gold happens,
Yeah.
right? And what is the key to this dish? I mean, obviously you're in charge of this. This is your hot dish. Like, how do you mess this up? What is the key to making it perfect almost every single time?
The key to making it perfect is just to make sure we're on top of having it prepped. It's one of those things. It does take 3 days to marinate. So if you aren't prepared and you miss a day, it really sets you behind, and then you're just trying to rush to get it made. So it's just trying to stay on top of it and making sure.
That a metaphor for life.
Just being prepared.
I was like, damn, that's a really good life lesson. Thank you, Victor.
Victor's become our life coach here.
Yeah, you are now our guru.
Make sure that you are prepared, and I'm butchering it right now. Have you ever messed it up? Have you ever not had it prepared?
Yeah. Yeah. In my earlier Nobu days, I've definitely messed this up and tasted it, looked at it, like realized this is where I messed up, and then ever since then, make sure I don't mess it up.
Did you ever pull it out the second day and you're like, oh man, no.
I'm not gonna risk that.
That's sacrilege. It's perfect. It's honestly the perfect dish. It stands the test of time. I love it.
And CJ, this is what you were talking about with simplicity, right? Or actually, it was you that started talking about simplicity. This is a quintessential Nobu. I mean, it's really a couple ingredients, and it's time, right? You wait for 3 days until something average becomes something remarkable, right?
Yeah, like including the fish and the hajikami. There's 6 ingredients all day on this plate.
There's 6 ingredients on that plate, and that legend.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we talk about it again and again when it comes to food. Patience is obviously is one of the least utilized ingredients, in any kind of food, and restraint. If you would have thrown an arugula pistou on that, you would have ruined it.
Yeah.
If you'd have thrown another 4 ingredients at it, it probably wouldn't have been as great as it is, right? Yeah.
And it requires like a blank canvas, which I love. I love white flaky fishes, right? But those are the fishes that you want to give like a beautiful sauce like this to. Like another fish, it needs a blank canvas. It needs something to kind of shine on, and like fatty black cod. It's perfect palate.
It's so good. What makes every restaurant? I always ask this. What are the things that Nobu does? That makes it really unique. We talked about the fresh wasabi that you have here. This was. Oh, you're such a good man. My good friend over here is bringing it. This was my revelation as someone who's eaten sushi and been lied to for generations. And there is nothing wrong with horseradish and mustard. There's nothing wrong with the paste. That is more shelf stable.
The chefs are like, I don't know, try.
It has its own charms. Every sushi restaurant in the world serves it, and I'm sure you guys have a horseradish paste as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
To look at each other and be like, do we?
Yeah, but this right here is fresh wasabi root.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nobu was the first place. Now it's been 17 years ago, 2007 when San Diego opened up. It was the first place that ever tried this. It is so remarkably different than horseradish.
Mm-hmm. Very much.
How different is it? Explain to me the difference.
So it's very hard to grow up. It
Yeah.
has to be specific environment.
Yep.
They can grow up the exactly temperature, or they're gonna die very quickly. That's why it's very expensive, and then it's very hard to get it.
Yeah.
Back then, 15, 16 years ago, I think it's harder. Right now, in Japan, they have a system. So right now it's much easier, but still it's very expensive.
Oh, it's bright. It is. It's like it's a fruit or vegetable puree, right? When you get it off of that, is that sharkskin?
Sharkskin.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's sharkskin that you rub that root on, and it is so bright, refreshing. It's almost
Yes.
it's like a pina colada inside of a root. It is, and it's a little spicy but a little sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet and not too spicy, right?
No, have you had it?
Oh, like right now?
Oh, get in there. That right there.
Sorry, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm like destroying the piece of cod.
Yeah, I know you ate the entire thing. That was impressive. So this right here, this is one of the things that sets Nobu.
I dropped it.
Oh, you dropped it. You didn't even make it.
Ooh, that's delicious. Okay, yeah. It's totally it's so much more balanced than the horseradish.
It doesn't just
mix.
punch you in the
I
face.
can see where
No.
they get
Yeah.
it from.
It tickles you in the face and then it punches you a little bit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But
Yeah.
it's not that like super strong, pungent, just in your face.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is, and it is so much more watery and
refreshing.
fresh.
Yes.
It tastes like it came right off a plant.
I know. I know.
Go
So
figure.
so obviously this is an extra, like I have to ask to have it done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
The fresh wasabi is like an add-on.
An add-on. Okay, got it. Absolutely, everybody once in your life, come down to Nobu and try that. And obviously on a lot of raw presentations, but I imagine you can use that uncooked as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, use it on anything. Put it in your hand. Put it in your mouth. That thing is phenomenal. What is the other things that Nobu does? Like maybe you've got a guy on the floor at Tsukiji Market. Maybe you've got, this is one of them that sets you guys apart, is that you do fresh wasabi root. Or what else do you guys have that kind of like is your distinctive? Like not very many people do this.
I wouldn't say it's more of like the product and like as much of the high product. It's more the precision and the skills of just getting everything down properly. It doesn't matter whether you buy the most expensive ingredient or the cheapest ingredient. If you put your time and energy into it to make it right and like develop it, it'll come out correctly. You know what I mean?
Right, that's it.
Yeah, and
You
I think that's just the Nobu way with everything. It doesn't matter what we get in, whether the wasabi, the mushrooms, the soy sauce, as long as we treat all the ingredients with respect and then take care of them as we develop all of our sauces and everything. I think that's where it sets Nobu apart.
And do you guys have the good operations have a quality control? Like exactly. You put that on the grill for 19 and a half seconds. Do you guys have it down to a science?
Yeah, it's all just like a mental clock. Like I won't be counting. I won't look at the clock, and I'll just turn around and be like, all right, time to flip. All right, time to do this. You look at the sauces, you're like, all right, I know that's wrong. I know that was made. Like, just after making everything so many times, it's just like clockwork. Like looking at the back of my hand.
Muscle memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have an internal clock that is calibrated to Nobu.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
That is awesome. All right.
Last dish.
Okay.
What drink do we have here that's staring at me?
That's the Matsu Isa Martini.
That's the Matsuhisa martini. Is it like a cucumber martini? Sake, vodka, muddled
Okay.
with ginger.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Much more mellow. It's named after Nobu Matsuhisa, so his martini.
Yeah.
This is it.
So explain to that on mic as you're doing it. So this is.
This is the Matsuhisa martini, and I forgot half of those things.
Sake, vodka, muddled with fresh ginger, and topped off with cucumbers.
Oh, look at that! That's a
Thank
man
you
who's
so
ordered one
much.
before. Yeah.
I know, and sorry, the reason why I forgot it, and I'm really bad with verbal instructions, and I'm like listening, and I'm like, oh, this is actually, it is a lot more complicated than your average martini. Like, there are ratios and different ingredients, so it's perfect. It's really balanced, and it obviously goes really well with everything on the menu.
Oh God! I mean, that's basically a sake that has that roundness and that creaminess of. That's a martini that has the roundness and the creaminess of sake.
It's like all the sushi condiments, like that you would find around a sushi roll, minus the fish. In one glass. It's kind of perfect. I
James
love it.
Bond was wrong.
Right?
You know what I mean? Nobu was right. That's the martini right there.
I am shocked that Nobu would come up with his own proprietary martini that is absolutely perfect.
You were
Totally shocked.
You are absolutely not shocked. Okay, our final dish of the tasting. What am I looking at right here, brother? This
Right
is
here we have our prime tenderloin yuzu miso ponzu, served with roasted cherry tomatoes in a Meyer lemon dressing, fresh micro arugula, and fresh grated truffle right on top.
Dear God.
Oh yeah, that sounds terrible.
It's delicious.
Do I have?
You have
It's delicious.
You have to try
You
it.
have to try
Yeah.
that, man.
Yeah. So the sauce that we make for this, the base of it is the den miso.
Okay.
Like a joke we have running around in Nobu's, French cuisine has like the 5 mother sauces,
Mhm.
but when you come to Nobu, den miso is the 6th mother sauce.
Holy shit. I mean, that is
to destroy this.
okay. If you think about any food, you think about the origin of any cuisine. You talk about the French mother sauces, like you said, and every cuisine has their sauce. In Asia there are a billion different sauces, a lot based on fish sauce, right? Which is like the ultimate flavoring ingredient on the planet. That the sauces that you've had on every single one of those, that sauce is incredible. It's so good. What is the key to it again?
What do you mean?
The sauce.
Oh, the sauce. It's just den miso is as its base, and then it gets mixed in with ponzu, different citruses, all the zest,
Very bright.
and it just brightens up. So it's not just so much sweet; it kind of like mellows out as you eat it with the steak.
And the truffle, unlike a lot of European truffle sauces where the truffle can be overpowering, take center stage, this is very much just a compliment, which I love.
Yeah.
I love that it's just a note and like not the main thing that's unusual for truffle dishes. If you want more, you do.
Oh dear God! Yeah.
Just sitting over
You
here
you
shoveling.
you made your choice, and that was a very good choice of the miso black cod. I have now made my choice, and I shall take
I
this
went
for
in
my
really
own.
hard.
Oh,
Hell yeah, fried things.
World famous.
The world famous. I mean, I even love that it's got its own pedestal now. It's got its own pedestal. It's
Right,
got
look
its own.
Okay, this is the most. I kind of take it back. This is probably the most famous over the black cod and the yellowtail. Another superlative.
I'd have to say depends who you ask again.
I know, right? I'm arguing with myself. but-
Okay, what are we looking at here, chef?
CJ.
This is crispy rice, spiced tuna,
Uh-huh.
Nobu style.
Nobu style.
So make your own. So you have to build your crispy rice,
Okay.
dip in the soy sauce, and then right amount to the spiced tuna on top.
Okay.
Then you can bite it.
And what is your spicy? I mean, with your spicy tuna, obviously you're taking some of the best damn tuna on the planet. And what are you tossing it in?
We mix with creamy spice mayo.
Okay.
Mhm.
Are we
And
using
then-
Koopy?
No.
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 I wish you could have seen their faces. They were like, Troy, what is wrong with you?
So then the mayo, you guys making your mayo in house?
No, we buy a mayo that Nobu-san prefers.
Nice.
I love that top secretness you just gave me.
Mm-hmm.
We have the one that Nobu-san
Sound
prefers, which we will not be divulging
Yeah,
on
you-
this podcast whatsoever. You will have to sign
maybe
a
once
waiver.
the cameras are down and the mics are off, I'll let you know.
It's like, but I assure you, it's
We
legit.
can say brand name.
No.
Like, you don't need to know, but it's legit.
So we talked about the origin of this dish. Again,
Sorry, make your
this is one of those where taking something that again might be thrown away, and which is obviously we're all trying to go back to in cooking. You know, we're all trying to go back to all the restaurants. You know, we used to be that all the trimmings would go away. You know, or just off into the trash.
Yeah.
You know, or the day old sushi rice. You know, perfectly good, not great on its own in a plate. You know, but if you put it in little square containers in the refrigerator, and then on the next day it is a perfect brick.
Yes.
Right. And this is what this is, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's exactly what we're doing it right now.
Yeah. And so you take that and you get a little bit of, you know, a beautiful tuna and you put it on top. You have that warm, crispy, cold, fresh tuna and then a little bit of soy sauce. I really went heavy on that. And I feel okay about myself for that.
That's a lot of tuna.
That is a lot of tuna.
Tuner.
Okay. And then, but that's a ponzu, right?
It's a butter soy.
It's a butter soy.
Yeah. It's
I don't know how many times I'm going to look so repetitive on this podcast. Just went, oh, God, it's so good.
yeah, it's a perfect balance of like texture and flavor.
It's so good. Okay, so butter soy. Explain that to people who may not know what that is.
So it's a 9-to-1 of our soy sauce and then clarified butter. We mix it, make sure it's nice and warm, and then plate it so we don't have like a congealed butter on top. You never want to have the congealed butter when you're serving it with this. Just not enjoyable.
You don't want separated fats around raw
No.
fish. It's not the move.
It's not the move.
Separated fats. I am my own separated fat. So, anyways, okay. Now my phone has gone off. Any other anything else about Nobu that like you're taking away? I mean, you guys have worked here in Chicago, you know, as part of the organization. You know what Nobu's all about. You know, what's the one thing that you tell when people are like, what's it like working at Nobu? What makes it so special? We talked a little bit about this in the beginning about how simple it is. But anything else, you know, that you're like, you know, why this place is magic?
I think Nobu-san always mention about we call kokoro is from the heart. You know, we do our best always, and that makes customer happy. That's our key point.
Yeah.
And then having a team that's working together, works as a team, works as a family to like make sure everything goes out. Because me and CJ might be in charge, but we can't run this place without our team. So it's always as long as we take care of our team and make sure they have everything that they need to do their job, then that's where it's at.
Yeah. You don't get to the top of the ladder without every step in the ladder.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We need a team to make sure this place runs the way it needs to run. So.
Well, gentlemen, welcome to San Diego. You have landed in one of the worst places that I've ever seen. You know, I mean,
I beg to differ on that one.
Yeah.
We really feel bad for you guys.
28
Our sympathies.
28 acres of one of the most historic resorts in the country, completely rebuilt just for you guys, right on the ocean.
Yeah.
And at one of the most iconic restaurants in the country, in the world now. How many locations do we have now?
I think we're roughly in the
Over
mid
50.
60s.
I was going to say over
around
50
the
for
60
sure.
in the world.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think roughly around 60.
Yes.
60 in the world. San Diego's got 2 of them.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Welcome to San Diego. Thank you so much for the tasting throughout what is Nobu's classic hits and a few new things here, too. I will be ordering 6 or 7 of these. You'll see me here.
Later tonight?
Yeah, we'll be toasting
Later
you
tonight.
all
Yeah,
day long.
yeah. All right. So have you guys had a chance to eat around San Diego at all yet?
From time to time. Yeah, a couple places. I went to Cali recently, and that place was quite
Okay,
delicious.
so now we're on to our next part of our segment, which is Get Some. This is where we give recommendations. You guys are brand newbies, so you have a couple places that you've been to. Where have you eaten in San Diego that you absolutely loved? You go first, Victor.
From my experience, I believe Cali is probably one of the best places I've had.
What did you get?
I had a smorgasbord of things, but their cacio e pepe is one of my favorite dishes, and like there, it was spot on. It was quite delicious.
And Chef Travis, who the owner chef of Cali, lives where you're living in San Diego, Rancho Penasquitos. So really, I'll give you his address. You know,
Okay.
yeah,
I'll
just
check it out.
knock on his door with your 2 boys. You know, and just demand some food. Okay. Yeah, that's how it works in San Diego.
Just like that?
Yeah, that's it, man. And what about you? Have you eaten anywhere that you loved in San Diego?
The restaurant. You know?
Any other restaurant that can't be yours?
I tried some of the Korean restaurant, you know, at the Convoy area,
Okay.
and I like one of the restaurant, the
Which one?
Korean barbecue.
Was it Min
Did he-
Sok Chong?
356.
30,
That means
50.
they
Into
open
that
365 days.
Okay.
I don't know, but
Okay.
they do the pretty good beef and
Good to know.
the meat quality. You know.
That's a hot tip.
All right. So Convoy's holding up. Convoy's
Yeah.
It
still.
You
meets
should
your
check it out.
standards. Are you Korean?
Yes.
Yep. So it meets your standards. I love it.
Yeah, over here from Seoul, your family's over in Seoul. You know, if you went to Convoy and it stood up to your standards, I feel good about San Diego. All right. Well, welcome to it. Where are you going? $250.
I just went to the Rose the other day, and I had the perfect spring pasta, which I have to share just because, like, it's just all the right flavors. So it's a mafalda, which is like a very thick, like pappardelle kind of pasta with the ridges on the end, and it has pea shoots, peas, pancetta, and just in a really nice leek garlic sauce. It's spring on a plate. Love it.
All
Sounds
right.
delicious.
Nice for me. I am going to the joint again. The
I
joint.
love the joint.
The joint is the best. Every year, I ask chefs around San Diego, "Who's your favorite restaurant in town?" And I always expect it to be Cali, and I always expect it to be Addison, and I always expect it to be 910 and Market, and a bunch of different places. And every year, half of them say the joint in OB. And it is just a well-done little box of sushi and hot dishes. You know, obviously, I've taken a little page from Nobu's book.
It's very izakaya style, actually.
Yeah.
Like izakaya and then Spanish. And well, I used to be married to a Spanish guy, and we would always say that izakaya and Spanish tapas are actually like really kind of the same concept. And when you put them together, which is kind of what the joint is, because they have the shishito pepper shit, they have everything. It works.
Yeah, it absolutely works. So it's probably, if you're going to be in OB, there's a few different places you can go. OB Noodle House is great. You know, Little Lion down at the edge of the water, right before you get to Sunset Cliffs, our little like best bistro of the year. But the joint is a place where almost everybody in San Diego, I know that's in the culinary world, goes to eat when they're in OB. Go check it out. This has been obviously the best morning of my life in a very, very long time.
Honestly, I am thrilled. Thank you so much for your hospitality. This
Thank
is
you for having
amazing.
us on. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys
Thank
so
you
much
very
for
much.
thank you so much for your time. I will tell you this: when you have a chain restaurant, you know, you have a restaurant that has like 60, 70 different locations around the world. You obviously don't get there without a certain amount of QC of quality control, but it can also flag in times. So there's times when I've been to places where I'm like, man, you've been around a tad too long, right? The quality's just not there. You live it on your name. That is absolutely phenomenal. Every single bite. I mean, that's how you know you can stay around for another 50, 60 years, another 60, 70 locations. That is an excellent tasting. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you much.
All
Thank
right.
you. Appreciate it.
All right, now go enjoy the day or go work or something like that.
And
Thank
go
you so
back to
much,
work.
brother. All right,
Thank you.
that's it. That's all that we have for this week's Happy Half Hour. We'll be back next week. Who knows what we got? Julia does, and she's kind of the keeper of all the things in her head. Check out Jack Bry at JACQBRY on Instagram. I'm at Hey Troy Johnson. And does Nobu have its own Instagram?
At Nobu?
At Hotel Del? At Del Coronado. Go check out the Del. You guys must come down to the Del. It is finally $550 million. It is done and unveiled. The stone has been removed from the cave, and it is damn beautiful. We'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.